I've been competing in grappling sports for over 32 years, and in this video, guys, I'm going to give you some information that will save you so much time when it comes to competing and will help you guys compete at the actual level you're at in Jiu Jitsu. And I would also say that any of the information I share with you today applies to literally every single sport. And when you guys hear different things like 80% of competition is mental, I would honestly say I've heard that since I was a kid, and I've never understood it until I opened my own gym and I've been a coach. And over the last 5 years, I've slowly but surely learned through my own competition experience, especially when I started competing at the black belt adult level and coaching other athletes, that it's probably not 80% mental. It's probably more 95% mental. But I really sat down and wanted to make this video in my car, in my garage, because I just had an incredible but really long 2 days of coaching. And when I say long 2 days of coaching, I'm talking about coaching from 9 a.m. all the way to 5:30 p.m. Saturday, and then 9 a.m. all the way to 5:30-ish in that range p.m. on a Sunday. Talk about two incredibly long back-to-back with like kind of intermittent breaks of coaching. Different athletes that travel 3+ hours to go compete, and every single one of our athletes got better for it. And there's a common like mistake that people have, is that you either win or you learn. And the honest to God thing that I really push my athletes that's helped our guys and gals perform so much better. And just for context, I've only owned this gym for 5 years, and every one of these athletes I'm going to mention, homegrown, started grappling with us. We have multiple pan champions. We actually have the most kids pan champions the last time I checked in Missouri. We have multiple world medalists. We have one that's on my coaching staff that 2 worlds ago ended up getting 3rd. We have another that is an adult pan champion. One of my coaches in which is ranked 6th in the world. You can look him up. Ethan Cummings, absolutely dangerous, incredible competitor. 0 sport experience. I'm talking sport experience. Started with me a hair over 4 years ago, all the way up through white belt, 1 pans, all the way up through blue belt, incredible performances, and then now at purple, just like in a lot of positions, looking like a black belt level. But I wanted to really get on here, guys, and help hopefully fast forward some of you to have a better understanding what competition actually is. And I'm going to steal some quotes from some people that I'm going to tell you, like, for example, John Danaher. And when you really break down what competition is, it's quite literally a pageant show. And what I tell my guys and gals, I don't tell the boys, like the teenagers and stuff, that, hey, you're doing a pageant show. What I tell them is that what you're doing is basically an open mat. You're sparring with strangers at a specific time with a specific time limit, and we're keeping track of score. It's no different than what we do at practice. Obviously at practice, we'll do situational rounds, we'll do other stuff, we have other goals, but this is like the fun time. Start on the feet, whatever you want, work on what you've been working at practice. The only difference is this round, debatably, is going to be easier. Why on earth would I say easier? Well, because all your training partners that you train with every single day or a handful of times during the week, they know what you like to do. They have a good understanding how to slow you down, and they know how strong you feel, how fast you feel. Like they have good muscle memory based reactions when it comes to dealing with your jiu-jitsu. But the guy or gal you're going to compete against here soon has no clue what you do. They don't know how strong you are. They don't know your timing. They don't know your speed. They don't know even what you like to go for, which means all the reactions you're going to get debatably are going to be significantly easier. But then you flip to the other side. It's like, oh, but my opponent has that exact same thing too. Yeah, they do. But this is where the mental side really comes into play. What I would argue, it's more 90 to 95% mental than actually 80%. Because when you think about this, like if I think about my mind only has so many things it can focus on all at once. So whatever I put my intention into, that cup is going to get filled up the most. So if I'm constantly dealing with, I really want to win, but I also really don't want to lose, what are you inevitably going to do? You're going to be competing not to lose. You could have success doing that if you define success getting your hand raised. But if you define success as having your absolute best performance, like think of your best days in training. If you want that at the tournament, I tell my athletes, don't think about the winning or losing. Thinking about going out there and fighting to win and not worrying about the outcome. As in when you're in the bullpen, the only thing you're thinking about doing is being in the bullpen, thinking about what you're going to be doing in the absolute beginning of your match, because you have control over that. You can't be thinking about like what guard you're going to play if you're in this scenario, that scenario. It's a distraction. You have no idea if you're even going to be able to play guard or if you're going to get an opportunity to pass. You may submit them off your back. You have no idea what's going to happen, which means you're wasting energy and time. It is nothing short of a distraction. So you should only be focusing on what you have control over. And I push all of our guys and gals to have a simple mindset of, I'm going to go out there and have fun, and I'm going to fight to win. That doesn't mean you're going to win, because you fighting to win, you can come up short. And if you do, if you did your best, you did everything you possibly could to prepare for it, great. And if you didn't, guess what? You got in a perfect example and amount of information that you needed to know what you need to work on to get better. Which, when you guys have been doing jiu-jitsu for a little bit like I have, or if you're trying to compete at the highest level, that information is super valuable. Because if you're training with the same people every single day, over and over and over again, your rounds are probably going to look pretty similar every single time. And some of the best opportunities for growth is new and different stimulus. And where is the best place to get that? Could say cross-training. But the absolute best, it's competition. The other thing I know that pops into people's head is, when are you ready to compete? And I had this question asked to me about, like, when do I tell my athletes they're ready? I'm going to be very blunt with you guys. I think athletes are ready to compete when they are interested in competing. So if I have like let's say a week 3 white belt, and they're like, hey, I want to do that local tournament this weekend. Do you think I should do it? My answer is yes. There's a small caveat though. Like, why do you want to compete? You want a gold medal? Okay, that's cool. So then I redirect them to focus on the things they have control over to give them the best opportunity to get that gold medal. I want to make sure that they understand that when you spend money to go to these tournaments, what's your reward? If it's the medal, man, that's really going to be empty at the end. Even if you just dominate everybody, it's going to be empty. It's going to be like eating a piece of cake. It's going to taste great, dude. But then when you're done, you're going to want more, or you're going to regret eating it. Yeah, that's not the best mindset to have. That from my personal experience and watching other athletes compete, the best way to view a tournament as what your reward is actually getting to do jiu-jitsu and getting a real test to see where you're at. Because you can be working through some off balances from different guards or some guard passing techniques with guys or gals that you train with every single day, and you can get some good reactions and really know what is and isn't working. But the best test is against somebody that really wants to beat you, that has no idea what you like to do, and quite frankly, you don't know how they're going to react. So if you make competition, doing jiu-jitsu, the actual reward, and you go in there with the mindset of, I'm going to focus on what I have control over. So when I'm in the bullpen, breathing, thinking about what I'm going to be doing in the beginning of my match. And then when you're in the match, you're only thinking about the moment, not what could happen, but what's happening in the moment. You do those things, you're going to have some of the I think, my true, honest to God belief, and I would put a crazy volume of money on this, basically all that I have, that you will have one of or some of the best performances that you've ever had. And my test pool from this has been from, man, I want to be very blunt and honest with you guys. I can't give a number, but a lot of athletes that I've coached over the last 5 years from the gym that I own at Dynasty Jiu-Jitsu. And the other one, man, I really wanted to do this in one cut, no edits. Did not plan to have that sneeze in there. But as you guys know, if you try to fight a sneeze, you're going to lose and you're going to look even more ridiculous. But I would even say too, not just from the athletes that I've coached, but for myself. And to give you guys a little bit of context, this is not to toot my own horn, but when I started wrestling, I didn't win my first wrestling match until I was about in junior high. Think about that for a second. Please do not post in the comments what the math is on this. I started wrestling when I was 4. I did every available USA wrestling tournament. I lost. Every year I did get better, though, at wrestling. It was evident in the training room. I was beating up a lot of the kids, even the kids that were winning a lot. I go to the tournament, come up short. A lot of times with the same guys, but I'd come up short. Junior high hit, I started to win. Like having a 500 season. Freshman year came along. It's like 16 or 17-3, something like that. Did really well. Got a chance at varsity at the end of the year. It's actually when they put the weight cutting rule in, to where you had to like hydrate, be hydrated, make the weight before the tournament, and you had to like compete at that weight class 5 times. I did 4 at varsity at that weight and won every one of them. Couldn't do districts. Anyways, similar progression through sophomore, junior year. Actually got hurt my junior year and through my senior year, but had like really good performances, winning seasons, did really well. I would argue though, when I went into Jiu Jitsu, I was the king of 2nd and 3rd place. But the performances I was having at the tournament, still not what I was doing at practice. And we've all seen guys and gals that are like that. They kill it in the practice room. They go to the tournament. They don't have the performance that you like feel like they should or would have had. But then I get the black belt. Okay, black belt kind of felt like I was starting over a bit, because actually my brown belt year, I started to win a lot, like a lot of gold medals, a lot of submissions, almost running through some people, had really good performances at the master's level. Then I made the crazy decision to change my circle a bit and do what I want. I wanted to compete at the black belt adult level. Crazy jump, I know. And I wanted to answer that question that every kid's got in their head: can you compete against the best? And after I made some of the adjustments that I've preached to you guys, like I was having closer performances with some really high level guys. You guys can even look on YouTube. IBGF does a great job of posting the matches, especially that I lost. Thanks, IBGF. They haven't posted any of the ones that I've won yet. All good. But I started to approach competition much differently, and practicing heavily what I've preached to my team, when I'm preaching to you guys, is that I started to look at competition as a chance to do jiu-jitsu. And I was going to go out there. I had a couple goals of things that I was going to look for, specifically things that I do in training. And I would focus on being in the moment and having fun. Rewind a bit. I have a performance that I did at the 2025 PANS. I registered at the lightweight adult level. It's actually my second lightweight tournament. Had a really good performance. Fought a guy by the name of, I think it's Vitor Hugo. They've got like 4 last names. I'm pretty sure it's Vitor Hugo. Incredibly dangerous athlete when I was studying this guy. Really good double sleeve. I've never seen him get submitted with leg locks before. But going into this tournament, I also had a slip disc, a couple little other nagging injuries. But I go to my first match, and I've never been so not confident in the sense like knowing I was going to win, but confident in the sense I was excited to be there and do jiu-jitsu and to compete and to fight to win. So my first match, and you guys can look at my first match on my YouTube channel, but I have my first match and I submit him with an ankle lock. Get some pretty nasty pops. But when I'm going for this ankle lock and I feel his legs start to go, my back also goes with it. I'm at PANS, so I don't stop, and I'm competing, and I want to win. Like, I'm fighting my absolute hardest to find a way to win. So we get my hand raised, go off to the side, and my back is beyond cooked. I can't sit down. Like, I have to put my hands on stuff, settle myself down. Icy hot, ibuprofen, all that fun stuff. So then the question is, like, am I going to compete the next round? That's what people are asking me. In my head, it's like, how am I going to find a way to compete this next round? Because I get an opportunity to compete against Jackson Nagai. Jackson Nagai, incredible competitor. Really fun to watch. And that fight was really fun. But the first 4 minutes, I have probably, especially considering who I was competing against, one of the best performances that I've ever had competing. And I've had some like pretty good performances since then, but not against like that level caliber of opponent. But I went out there with the mindset of like, I'm going to take it to Jackson and I'm going to fight him. And the same way that I fight in training is the exact same way that I fought in that match. And if you guys watch that match, I literally went for the lapel zombie within the first 3 weeks of me developing and working that technique and getting a little bit of help from some of the concepts I was working that I stole from Sebastian Serpa. Ended up goofing it up a hair, ended up in 50-50 lapel. Not a big deal. Transitioned out of it. But I ended up catching Jackson in a triangle. And in the process of that triangle, Jackson defended by giving up his arm. Well, if you give up your arm, you're going to get armbarred. And I armbarred the mess out of Jackson. Like, I've never felt someone's arm pop. And then, see how my arm is straight? It bent like this, but the other way. And in that process, him giving up his arm like that and doing a lot of damage to himself, he escapes his head. The ref calls stop to the match. We both have no idea reason why. As soon as my feet hit the ground, my legs go numb. Can't move them for a moment. It was that moment, I'm like legit, was super scary. But almost 5 minutes into the match, performance of my life, injured, and I'm also the guy that's never won a gold medal at an IBGF adult for black belt. Proud of that. I mean, I won every tournament outside of there. Like, no one's ever scored a point on me outside of IBGF or black belt. Outside of like in an AGF, because AGFs, when you pull guard, you give up a point. This is just to give context. This is not to like toot my own horn. But I went from a kid that wanted to win but couldn't, and would get really nervous and anxious before matches. I went from the stage of I got to hype myself up, listen to all this crazy music, like put caffeine in my eyes, obviously joking, but just get myself super pumped up and hyped up to have a match. To now I'm the person that is about as relaxed and excited to compete. Not like hyped up excited. I'm talking like you're about to go to see a movie you really want to see and you're like, yeah, dude, I'm like super excited to go do this. Let's go. But there's a small little point I want to add to this too, and I hope I word this correctly, because there was also tournaments I remember I would be nervous for, but if I knew somebody in there was really good, I'd be extra nervous because I was thinking about how I would lose. I was ultimately believing that I was going to lose, and I was fighting these internal thoughts. To then now, I'm only thinking about doing jiu-jitsu. That's it. And I remember like being in one of my physically weakest moments. I was really messed up, guys, before that match with Jackson. Going up against the previous year's world champion, pan champion, very decorated competitor, very physical competitor. And I went toe-to-toe with that guy until my back just completely gave out. But not at one point was I thinking about pulling out. Was I scared to lose to him, or his name, his reputation discouraged me at all. And it was a really crazy day. It was very tough, especially after my back really gave out. My legs went numb. But the purpose of me sharing this with you guys is that competition is not 80% mental and 20% skill and physical. I think it's more like 90 to 95. Because you have to remember, everything that you're feeling, everybody else, like 99% of people feel too. But if you can view a tournament as like you getting to do jiu-jitsu as your reward, and treat it like sparring, because you're sparring somebody you don't know that's just going to fight you really hard, doesn't guarantee you'll win, but it gives you a significantly higher probability of performing at your level. And if we really break it down, and I think everybody's really honest, you just hope to have your best performance. You don't have control of the referee. You don't have control over how your body feels. But the biggest thing that I think everybody, if we're really honest, hopes for is that you just have a really good performance. And if you focus on the things that you have control over, you have a better shot to have having a better performance. And if you have a better performance, what do you also have a better shot of? You got a better shot at winning. Which means, if I can give you guys a bit of bonus, practice is meant not to win practice. Practice is meant to get better. Which means you should be taking as much risk as possible, learning new concepts, taking actual time to not just acquire new skill, but to develop that skill and being open to help your teammates and be open for your teammates to help you regardless of what their rank is. Guys, I've been doing jiu-jitsu, really grappling sports, longer than Ethan's been alive. He's a purple belt, 140 pounds, and I've been his coach since day one, and he helps me. Obviously, I help him. I'm still his coach, but there's still concepts he helps me with. Like, I don't have that ego to where you're a purple belt. I remember your day one. You can't help me. I'm a black belt. No. I'm taking as much risk in practice as possible. I'm not getting my guard passed. I'm not letting that happen. There'll be some of you, probably from my gym, that are like, hey, that one time. Yeah, that one time. But hey, we're trying to get better at jiu-jitsu. But also at tournaments. It's not just at practice, but at tournaments. It's taking risks to do your jiu-jitsu. Don't use closed guard just to hold them there. Use your closed guard to use some offense, off balance, attack. Understand that your reward for going to that tournament is getting to do jiu-jitsu. It's not the medal. The medal's empty. People get excited for a day, then they forget about it. And then I think one of the worst things is when you put all your attention in winning that medal and you realize nobody cares. Because in reality, the only people that really matter are the people that really know you and really love you. And guess what they care about? You had fun, you gave your best, and you're happy. And if you lose, they're not going to love you any more or less. If you win, they're not going to love you any more or less. So what have you got to lose? I think you have to lose an opportunity to have fun and do jiu-jitsu. And if you focus on competition of, I'm here to have fun, and I'm here to do jiu-jitsu, and you fight to win like you would a board game, that level of focus, guys, you're going to have some of the craziest performances of your life. And I could promise you, I can't promise you're going to win, but I will tell you from a kid, I'm 36, but from a kid that grew up losing all the time to then now as a guy, I get this reminded this a lot, closer to his 40s than his 30s. And watching other athletes do this, if you put your priority into getting better at jiu-jitsu, not winning more, getting better at understanding the mechanics, the techniques, and the concepts, and you put your attention into having fun and enjoying competition and focusing only on what you have control over, you guys are going to have your best competition, your best 2026, okay? If you guys want more help like this, guys, make sure you guys check out the links down below. I've got my lapel guard instructional for the lapel zombie system. Super strong, super effective, modernized lapel guard. I've also got a school group similar to Patreon, but a lot cleaner. It's a lot nicer platform. We actually have our lapel guard syndicate group. I like to call it a team. It's like a virtual team. It actually make me not your coach, but your step coach. Help you guys improve in jiu-jitsu. You'll notice in that group, guys, that it's not just lapel guard. It's no gi. It's just jiu-jitsu, guys. Gi, no gi. It's all jiu-jitsu. Just gi's a little cooler because we actually get to play some lapel guard. And be honest, guys, it's a lot more fun. But the other thing is, too, guys, is that you guys actually get a 7-day free trial. If you guys want to check out those links down below, especially in the school group. And within the first day, you guys signing up, you get a direct message from me. I want to hear what your goals are, what your struggles are, and help you guys get better at jiu-jitsu. Make sure you guys comment down below. What are some questions and things in jiu-jitsu you guys would like to see? Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a good day and a great year.